Welcome to the 5% Club with your hosts Maria Mejia and David Pataki as they dig deep into what it takes to start, grow, and take your business to new levels. They do this by demystifying common mistakes, roadblocks, and pitfalls by handing you strategies, tips, and hacks. Get your pen and paper ready because here they are.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the
5% Club?
Oh, you hesitated way too long for that one. Welcome to the 5% Club.
5% Club. I said the 5% Club.
You waited too long. Anywho, this is your normally scheduled episode as if you've been following us a couple of days ago, actually a day from recording here, we dropped a interview that David did. Do you just want to tell us who that was with before we jump into today?
Sure, I had a great conversation with James Robert Elliott. He is an expert in NLP, and what that is in a nutshell. That's helping you be able to get yourself out of your own way, help you prepare yourself with some tools that will help you just get out of your way, because there's a lot of things that a lot of baggage we've picked up as we've aged and so on from the time we were young, and that holds a lot of us back. So if you're able to figure out how to get past that, then you can do a lot better, and that's what James R. Elliott is all about. So just check him out. Check out the podcast.
Yep, it was a really good podcast. I'm sorry that I missed it, but I am here now, and I even forgot to introduce myself. Wow, I'm spacing today. So I am your imported accountant, Maria Mejia.
Yes, Maria Mejia. And I am the Panastic business coach, a.k.a. David Pataki.
A.k.a. Mr. Pataki. So, kind of on that theme of getting out of your own way, we were in a networking event the other day, and someone asked the question, when should you get a VA or a virtual assistant? I kind of want to expand that question a little bit and ask you, Mr. Business Coach, when would it be a good time for someone, a business owner, to start thinking about outsourcing some work or bringing in someone onto their team?
Excellent question. Yeah. So, a common question or common dilemma that a business owner faces at some point, whether they are looking to bring in a virtual assistant or whether they're looking to bring on someone to do the bookkeeping for them or outsourcing marketing, that type of stuff. So the bottom line is you will never truly be exactly ready. There's no perfect time to do it, right? So what I'm going to suggest that you do is you sit down and go, okay, right? You may have heard me say this in the past, but I'll just say it again. I'll probably say it many more times in the future. But you got to just do a little red arrow, figure out where you are right now. This is where I am, and you got to pick a point. This is where I want to go, and figure out where you want to go. And go, okay, so what steps do I need to take to get there? And chances are, if you're a business owner that's serious about growing, then you will have to bring on a VA, a bookkeeper, social media marketing person, that type of stuff, right? So when is the right time? Okay, you also have to think about, okay, you've got the business to this point, right? Is the admin stuff or the stuff that you want to offboard. Oh, that's an awkward word. That you want to offboard yourself or onboard to a virtual assistant. What is that taking away from your revenue generating time? You got to remember something. Your time isn't free. Even though you can work for a couple of hours and you go, it's not a big deal because it doesn't really cost me anything. But, wake up call here. It does actually cost you money. If you spend 2 hours doing something that isn't productive or isn't helping you generate new clients or helping you maintain new clients, then in fact, it's costing you money. So then you got to think about, okay, so if I bring on a VA, I don't know what it's going to be, $20 an hour, depending on where you go. Obviously, if it's in Canada, or if you go offshore, it's all going to depend on who you talk to, where you're getting the outsourcing from. But there is a hard cost to that. So the key is, okay, the hard cost is this X. Now, as long as you are doing your 20%, working on leads, working on conversions, working on profits, all those fun things, if you're working on that, then you can afford to bring on a virtual assistant. Because if you take that 2 hours a day off your plate, and you're able to take those 2 hours to focus on generating new revenue or bigger revenue for the same client, then that is the productive way to move forward.
Mm-hmm. And, everyone has the same 24 hours in their day. No one can stretch it to be, 50 hours in one day. But as business owners, sometimes we feel like we want more hours in a day so we can do more things ourselves. But if you add another person, you got another 24 hours in your pocket pretty much. So onboarding someone after you've maximized your time, you have your time where you do your behind the scenes business stuff, where you do the client facing stuff, where you do the actual work, the products, and where you do, your marketing, where you try and contact as many people as possible. Those all take time. But if you're able to offset that or give that to someone else, that all that time has just now opened up for you to do something else productive in your business. Maybe you're thinking of, starting a podcast, doing some intro videos, or maybe even making a course for, your business. Now you have that time to make those kind of extra things if you have given some work to someone else.
Right. Now, the thing to consider specifically when it comes to a VA, if you're going to pass something along, then you need to have a process in place. You have expectations of that, of what the desired result is for the task that you give them. Okay. So I would suggest that you start documenting the process. It doesn't have to be super detailed and so on, but there should be expectations. I'm going to do this, and then I enter it in here, and then this happens and I post this, and so on. As long as you sort of have a process that then you can share with the VA, because believe it or not, one of the hardest things to do in life is be able to manage expectations. But every relationship that you have, whether it's with a client, whether it's with a spouse, with your children, with your parents, with employees or VAs, bookkeepers, doesn't matter. There are expectations. And a lot of times they go unsaid. And if you don't articulate what the expectations are, then usually the relationship doesn't go quite as smoothly as it should. So if we go back a step and go, okay, so if I'm going to offboard, I got to figure out a different word for that. If I'm going to onboard these tasks to a VA, I need to know what is expected. I know the process that I do it. I have to be able to articulate it properly to someone, and usually if it's even in a point form documented manner, then the expectations are, we talk about this all the time, writing it down, having it in black and white, then it's easy to refer back to if you're not getting your desired results. And that way you both are literally, air quotes, on the same page because you've written it down. And if they're not performing the tasks the way you've laid them out, then you can either, change that relationship, or you have an opportunity to correct the behavior because you have it there. See, you're not, there's a couple of these tasks that aren't getting done properly. That we've talked about it. This is how I've laid it out. Now, again, goes back to what do you want from your business? If you want to grow it and you want to be to the point where you're not working in it or you're not 24/7 responsible for the business, then yes, getting a VA on board is a good first step. But you want to, or maybe a second step. The first step is get the process articulated. Second step is get ready to bring on the VA. And then the third step is make sure that once you've offloaded that those tasks, that you use that time to produce valuable work. Yes, Maria mentioned doing intros or for video, if that is promotional material, if you're producing a course that could bring you residual income further down the road, those are definitely things that need to be done. But also you could be looking at, okay, what key clients should I be talking to? Or even what we talk about all the time, what are the 3 to 5 key KPIs that I need to look at every month to make sure that I am being profitable, right? So those things tend to fall to the wayside because they're important, but they're not urgent. Stephen Covey has the whole, important, urgent, and not important, and all that fun stuff. But a lot of times the important but not urgent stuff falls to the wayside. But realistically, that is what helps you to propel your business forward way faster than doing the urgent stuff.
Mm-hmm. And this is having a thing written down, having your process written down is very important, especially if you want to continue, for example, with the social media. If you want to continue to have that constant social media presence with that consistent branding, you need to have it written down. That way, whoever you decide to give it off to, they're doing the same thing that you had been doing. And if you haven't been doing consistent social media, for example, and you hired someone to do it for you, write down their process, figure out what their process is, in case you do eventually down the road need to hire someone internally to do it instead of having someone external from your business doing it. So having the process written down is very important. That way you're not double booking yourself if you need to review some things for certain aspects of your business. And that way you always have a game plan of how your business is running.
Right. And just to circle back to the beginning, when I said that you're never really ready, and one of the, obviously you go through the steps we talked about, but if you go, what, I don't know if I have got the revenue for that. If you bite the bullet, then you've sort of thrown the gauntlet down to yourself and say, okay, I need to earn X amount or I need to bring in X amount more revenue to cover the cost of that VA. So there's that motivational factor that helps propel you as well and hopefully get you out of that little bit of comfort zone. Especially if you're a solopreneur, you get into that comfort zone. I'm earning X amount of dollars. I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. I know if I had a VA that I'd be able to open up some more free time and probably be able to grow the business. This is the story that you're telling yourself, that you're comfortable with where you are. Right. And I'm going to challenge you to, we talked about imposter syndrome in past episodes as well. I'm going to challenge you to put yourself in a position where you are feeling like a little bit like an imposter. That's that little bit of fear. That's a little bit of excitement that is happening inside you that, oh, I need to do something different. I want, Marie and I, our goal here is to give you tips and tricks to help you grow as a business owner. We want you to achieve that dream business that you've always wanted, the time freedom or the financial freedom or whatever it is that you're going for. That's what we're here to help you with. So I challenge you to go, okay, you know what? I'm going to hire this person. You don't have to, put yourself in trouble. Don't hire a VA for 40 hours a week. Okay. If you only have 10 hours a week available for them, right? But be realistic. But again, get out of your comfort zone, put it out there, take that, the minutia off your plate so you can focus. And you'll be surprised that if you don't have to deal with the day-to-day mundane stuff, that you actually will be able to be more creative and come up with other ways that you're going to be able to attract or serve your customers.
Yep. And something else you need to keep in mind when it comes to, the cost of a VA or accountant or any other professional is that, cheaper isn't always better. Everyone has different experience level. Everyone has different expertise in different fields. So you really need to, research who it is that you're going to be working with. If it's for example, I've seen this happen many times where someone had an outsourced accounting or an accountant, but the communication was really bad. They would just do the bare minimum and then give the client the books back and say, you're on your own, file your taxes, have fun. Whereas here at the Matrix, we always have that open communication with our clients saying, hey, this week I had these questions. Do you know the answers? Or the client would reach out to us and be like, hey, I'm planning on purchasing this big equipment. What would be the impact on my finances and things like that? So, work with someone who is at the same level or better than you are. That way they can help you build that successful business that you really want.
Right. And sometimes when it comes to, going back to the VA, for example, sometimes you might have to go through one or two or three to find the right one. But as long as you're learning the lessons, because then you'll be able to figure out better questions to ask potential VAs as you move forward. Are they competent in this? Are they comfortable in doing that? Right? When you try to hire your first one, you may not know all the questions and move on. And just use it as, and it's okay, even if you invested some money in it, that's okay because you've learned a lesson, right? Back. Actually learned that from our interview with James Elliott there that, failure, you can look at as failure as feedback. Or you take it as feedback. If you just take it as failure and give up, then you can use it as feedback and go, what can I improve? What can I do better the next time around? Then it's not failure. It's just feedback to help you grow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Always learn from, the experiences that you have with different people, figure out, what worked, what didn't work. As well as you don't always have to change. If something wasn't working with your VA, it doesn't mean you have to automatically go find a new one. Communicate with them. Be like, hey, this isn't working right now. Can we work on something together to either, I do something or you do something? Because everyone is running their business. They're also learning from their experiences. Everyone's not perfect in their business. And if you are willing to, give feedback, that helps them become better, not only for you, but their other clients as well.
Right. That goes back to being able to write down the expectations or an outline of what you are expecting from the VA so that you can come back to that. Maria said, you don't fire your VA right off the bat for one little mistake. If, you've already invested some time in this. So if there is the ability to correct the behavior, then that's where I would start for sure. But if you don't have that something documented, then it's hard for them to do it because their expectations, they don't know what your expectations are. I expect you to do show up on time, send this out when I tell you to, and set up my Zoom calls. Right? Those aren't explicit enough to relay what your expectation is, right? Maybe they're doing the Zoom call, but they set up the Zoom call, but they don't check your calendar first. They just schedule it on the other person's calendar and not on your calendar, and then you're double booked. Well, if you didn't say, well, make sure you check my calendar first before you book any, and I prefer my meetings in this time period and this, this time and this day. Now you've set some parameters for that VA to make sure that then they know what your expectations are. I know it's a simple example, but those are things that when you're doing stuff on your own as a solopreneur, or even if you do have a couple of employees and you want to get a VA in, but you're doing most of the tasks yourself, it's inherent, it's subconscious, or it's second nature, it's habitual for you to do things a certain way, but when you take a step back and you look at it and you go, oh, there's actually 5 steps to my decision-making process when it comes to setting up a Zoom call, where you may just tell someone, just make sure you set up the Zoom call and get the link set up. That's really only one step. You haven't articulated the 4 other steps that you want to be done. That's where problems arise.
hmm And there's many locations where you can find VAs or any other professionals. I hesitate to name those exact sites because some of them are a bit hit and miss. But if you look up, most sites will have reviews for those different professionals. So look at their reviews, see how they communicate with people who leave bad reviews. So definitely do your research before you jump in with everyone and have open communication with anybody that you do work with. Question for you, David. Um, Besides like the price usually is like the number one thing that people hesitate on, what is something else that people might be stuck on and not take the plunge to outsource some work?
Well, I think it's probably cost is the biggest thing. And then, maybe the secondary thing is, the process. How is this going to affect my process or the flow of my work? Do I really want to deal with someone virtually, right? Uh, but again, I'm just going to circle way back to the very beginning to what I was saying. You need to know where you want to go with this business. Is it there as a side hustle? Is it there to replace income that you had in a previous job? Or are you looking to build a successful, profitable business that allows you time freedom and financial freedom? And if those are the questions you need, that question right there, you should answer first. And that will help motivate you on what steps you need to take. Right. And yes, you might think, okay, I don't have the funds right now. I'm not sure I could, fit them in, or how does it fit into my process, or is it going to screw up? And they might consider, are my customers or my prospects going to be okay to communicating with a virtual assistant, and so on. But those questions will be answered by what is it that you want from your business. And once you figure that out, put the milestones, the stepping stones that you need to put in place to make sure that you achieve to that business level that you want to be at. And you know what? Some people are okay with it just being a job, right? They're a solopreneur. They're happy making, X amount of dollars a year. They're okay with working, 40 hours a week. Yes, when they take a week off to go with the family, they don't earn any revenue that week, but they're okay with that because the overall annual revenue is okay. And that's fine. But if you are looking to grow, which most of the listeners to this podcast is, then you need to seriously look at what steps do I need to take to get where I want to go. But figure out where you want to go first. Start with the end in mind.
Yep. And something else you need to keep in mind is you can't do everything. I know when I had my first accounting firm, I was bootstrapping everything. I thought I could do it all myself. I'm a creative person. I can do the social media. I'm really good with technology. I can do the IT side of things as well. But as I started to grow, I realized that I could either be having myself as an expense, taking all the time to create new social media posts, new blog posts, or I could invest that amount in a professional who knew what they were doing and would be able to do it much more quickly than I could. And I could be focusing on generating income. So doing client work and billing out client work. So sometimes you have to set your pride aside. You have to set aside that mindset of I can do it all and I will do it all because I know all for my business. Set that aside and understand that there are other people out there where it is their job to do those things that you are not an expertise in. So, reach out to them and get that help.
Excellent point, Maria. And that's, a number of years ago, that's what I got myself in trouble. I was thinking, I was growing my print design and marketing business, and I thought I knew everything. And I didn't outsource enough of the stuff. I did have a number of employees and all that stuff going on, but I didn't take the advice I was giving myself right now. So it's a good point. It's always better to outsource especially the tasks that you're not very good at. We talk about that a lot with our bookkeeping clients. Bookkeeping can stress people out completely, right? And it's not even just the time; it's the energy drain that can take you away from your productive revenue generating activities.
Mm-hmm. So, check yourself, know that you can't do it all, and reach out to people. We're all here to help you.
Yeah, and figure out what you want from the business. If nothing else you leave from this podcast is figure out what you want from the business and then go from there.
Yeah. Make those stepstones, figure out those KPIs. Well, I think that is all that we have for today. Unless there's anything else you want to add, Mr. David?
No, I think we covered that one pretty good.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for listening. A little announcement we have here. If you've been following us on Facebook, you will have seen this announcement already. But Mr. David Pataki, our Panastic business coach, has a course out now. It is a 4-week, I don't remember what we called it, but it was a 4-week intensive building your business course. I don't think it's called
4
that.
weeks. Yes, it's intensive business training, 4 weeks. You'll walk away with a lot of new tips in your back pocket to help grow your business. But I'm also on the February 18th, I'm also one of the featured speakers on Connect Global Summit. So that's an international summit that's coming on. So that's a great opportunity for you to join and check out what I'm going to be talking about and meet a bunch of other speakers. So that is February 18th. Go to beconnected.com and check out the events there.
Yep. And I will also, actually will already have passed by the time this episode drops, but I will be having a few other workshops going on for business taxes. So keep an eye on our Facebook and you will see those events listed on there.
Exactly. Yes, we don't sit down. We are busy, offering whatever value we can and tips and tricks as we go. And as I like to say, success is actually easier than you think. All you need to do is ask us.
Yep, we're here for you. So remember, if you have any questions or if you want to leave us a review, please do and send us your inquiries or topics that you want us to talk about next. And as usual, like, share, and subscribe. Get the word out. Have your friends and family listen to us because we have so much good knowledge to share. Not tooting my own horn here. So we will see you in the next time we do the 5% Club.
Bye for now.